I do believe being a mother has taught me a lot more respect for my own mother, and a lot more patience and resilience to manage different situations at work. Has it changed my career ambitions? No, actually no. Being a mother has not necessarily changed anything I would have done in my life. On the contrary, all the bigger jobs, my travel, I've moved countries twice, 4 times, so going back and forth to Australia. It was all happening after I gave birth to my first daughter. So did it stop me from moving? No. Did it stop me from taking new jobs or bigger jobs? No, not necessarily. I have given my 100% being a mother, and I've given my 100% being a professional. Yeah.
So good to hear. And I remember last time we sat down and I mentioned your kids actually are your lucky charm.
Actually, yes. It was very difficult in those days to get a driver's license in Dubai. And my husband was trying it for years. After our first daughter was born in 2000, after 3 months of her birth, he got the driver's license. 6 months later, I got my driver's license, which was a massive achievement for us. Actually, after her birth, I joined the tech industry, and I've stayed on since then. Yeah, so she definitely is a lucky charm. And it was the most defining moment for me was when my older daughter, who is now going to be 19 next month, she was 14 at that time, and she came home one day and said, at school they were talking about role models, and I said to my class, my role model is my mother. I want to be just like who she is, very, very successful. So for me, I think any guilt I had before that, that just disappeared.
Exactly. And you actually shared the story to me before, and even now here again, I have goosebumps. It's amazing story.
It was, I did cheer up and I was like, oh my God, I must be doing something right, if not everything right.
You mentioned when you're with your family, you give 100%. When you're at work, you give also 100% as well.
Yes.
So can I say that when you're with your kids, there's no work involved? And that's what it means, 100%.
Okay, so let me explain. I have a regional role, and I also understand at times I have to do night calls. Also, there are times when I have to respond to emails. But what I do by non-negotiable is when I go home, I first want a me time. When I have my cup of tea, and when I have a telly on, no one talks to me, so I get about half an hour, 45 minutes, non-negotiable.
Yes.
After that, when my kids were a bit younger, till they go to sleep, I do not do any work. So from, let's say if I'm home, I've done 6 o'clock, I'm at home. From 6 to 9, 9:30, I would not do anything except just spending full time with my kids, looking at their homework, making sure they had their dinner. I had some me time. And then after that, if I needed to get back on my emails, which I still do. I also do reading in the night. I like to read a lot of stuff, different things. I do all that in the night when my kids are asleep. And I still follow that practice, though sort of they've grown up. Yeah.
And I think it's so useful for you to mention me time. And most often time, we forget about that. We put everyone else before us.
Yes.
So me time with you.
See, someone said to me many years ago, before you love anyone else, you got to love yourself. Before you respect anyone else, you got to respect yourself. I totally believe in that. If I have no respect for myself, and if I don't love myself, I don't think so I can love another human being, or I can respect another human being. Me time gives me that space, that disconnect between work and home. So I go, I watch TV. There are lots of things on telly that I like to watch. That helps me to unwind. And then I'm sort of refreshed, and then I get back into my mother role.
I appreciate that. What should professional mothers consider before starting employment at a new company?
I don't think so. There is any different needs a mother should have different to a father. I think working parents need to think about the organization that they are joining, how supportive that organization is going to be to their family circumstances. So if I look at Oracle, we are, as I said before, we are a very inclusive organization. We have flexible work arrangements. We provide part-time opportunities when required. And that's not just for a parent, it is for all parents. And I think those are the kind of things are important for parents to think about when they are looking at a job opportunity. Many years ago, in another country, when I was looking for a job, and I went for a couple of interviews, and one of the interviews I really progressed far ahead, and it was the last phase of the interview. They already had made a verbal offer to me, and I just asked the hiring manager, and I said, what kind of work culture do you have from a flexibility perspective? I've been in the tech industry. I was used to a flexible work culture. And her response back to me was, well, we actually generally expect people to be in the office from 9 to 5. We want everyone to be in the office most of the times. And I looked at that and I thought, and I said, what about flexible work arrangements? Or when, so she said, well, occasionally when you have a situation, but most often our expectation is people are at work all the time. And I realized that I had a young family at that time, and that environment wouldn't have worked for me. I felt that organization wouldn't have been very supportive to a person with family commitments. So those are some of the things to think about when you're looking at a new job opportunity or an organization.
What advice would you give to newborn moms who's about to return back to work?
Be courageous. Don't hold back. Being a mother does not stop you from doing great things in life. One of the things I forgot, I should have mentioned before, for example, we have nursing rooms here in our facility. Actually, in all Oracle offices, we have nursing rooms. So when you're a new mother, that's the first thing you think about is, how am I going to do that? We actually provide that support system here. Through our OWL, our Oracle Women Leadership Program, we also have a support group that is there is a community that is about the new mothers, so they sort of share tips and things with each other. So having that support system around you. But don't hold yourself back just because you've become mother. Twice in my life, after in the countries that I worked, didn't have an extensive maternity period. I came back to work the first time 2 months after my maternity leave, the second time 3 months. I've got great kids, and I was able to feed them, take care of them whilst I came back to work. So I think my advice is, don't hold yourself back thinking that I've become a new mother. Just make sure that you have the support system, whether that is at home or from work perspective, that will support the needs that you will have as a new mother.